Okay, so on to placing joints. I'm going to go to my side view. I'm going to hide my NURBS objects. I don't really need to see those for now. I like to have the geometry showing somewhat. So I go to the shaded mode, but then I'll turn on this, make the edges visible. Now, my mesh is mostly transparent. I chose to do that in the material. So if you're wanting to do that the same way, what you'd have to do, I also got the layer reference, so I can't actually select the model. But let me select it. If I go to material attributes, okay. So let me do it from the hypergraph actually. Okay. There's my reference file to the swan. And I'll press Control A to get my attribute editor open. And then here's the blend. And I just set transparency up pretty high. That way I can see through the model, but still see it. The other way to do that is just with this X-ray mode. But the X-ray mode was bothering me because it wasn't transparent enough when I was working on it last night. So I made it even more transparent. So that's all I did there. Okay, so begin placing joints. So we need to keep into account our skeletal structure of the bird. Let me go to skeleton joint tool. And usually this first round of placing joints, I'm just trying to get a good placement in. And I usually try to start with the cog. And the cog on the bird is going to be just like on the humans. It's going to be at where the hips join into the skeletal structure. And the reason that's so is because, like bipeds, the legs are at the center of gravity, and they should be attached to that cog because they're controlling the balance of the creature. So I'm going to click here on the pelvis, and I'm going to try to go straight up the spine. So there I go. So I'm going to back up one. I'm going to start going up the neck here. I've got a very long neck on this guy. Let's see, and I think the center of the spine will probably connect to the skull. I should get out my anatomy book for birds real quick. But then I'm going to position this one straight up, so I can do that by holding down Shift. So that'll be the top of the head joint. Then I'm going to pick walk up by pressing up on my keyboard, and I'm going to place a lower jaw joint, and I'm thinking that probably pivots all the way back here. About right there. I'm going to pick walk up again. And I need to place a set of joints for the eye. So this first joint is not going to be for the, I'll call it an eyes joint, so it can control both eyes at the same time. And then this next joint, well, I'll actually try to center pivot in the eye. So I'll click in the center of the eye and try to place that one there. Okay, I'm going to press up a bunch of times to pick walk up, and all the way to the cog joint, which is called joint 1 right now. And I'm going to go straight back to the tip of the tail, and this one ought to be pretty easy. Pick walk up to the cog, and now I'm going to bring in the legs. Okay, so this is where I got to pull out my anatomy book real quick because I want to make sure I get this right. So I'm going to pause the video. Okay, so I was just referencing my anatomy book on birds, and I need to get the hip in from this location here. Then it needs to come down to the knee there, to the ankle here, then the ball of the foot here, and then I have a toe there. Okay, actually I'm going to want more toes than that, toe joints, so that his feet can bend, his toes can bend. So I'm zooming in, and I'm going to add just the same as our fingers, so it has 3 bones in it. Okay, so I'm going to hold down shift so I can draw it straight out to the in front. Actually, no, I'm not going to. I lied. There, and there. I'll do, let's see, do I want to do one more? Yep, I do. Okay, and the one more. Okay, now I've got all the joints for one half of the body, except they're only placed correctly in the side view. Now I was also looking when I noticed in my anatomy book that I want to move this joint. This jaw is actually up a little bit further than I was thinking, and forward a tiny bit. So about right here. Okay. Now go to my, well, I just need to choose, well, I'll just do it from my perspective view. And you can see that all these joints that I just created are lined up right down the center of the body, which is fine for the most part. But, you know, the eye, I don't want to be in the center. I need to move that over to the eyeball. Okay, and I'll show you how to pop that in there to be real precise. So to do that, I need to unreference my geometry and then select the eyeball. And I'm going to go to Display, Transform Display, Rotate Pivots. Now if you deselect, you'll see a little dot in the center of the eye. That's the Rotate Pivot. That's the dead center of the eye. If for some reason that you don't believe that is the dead center of the eye, which we need it to be, then you can select that geometry and then go to Modify, Center Pivot. And then it would pop it to the center of the eye. Okay, so with that there, what I can do is I can select this joint, and I can hold down, I'll click in the center of my manipulator so I don't have any active handles, and I know that